Those who obsess with death, let them soon be acquainted with it.
What's up, button mashers? Welcome back to another breakdown here on Button Mash Breakdown. Today we're diving into this early access title that's been making waves. It's always a gamble stepping into an early access game, so let's see if this one's a hidden gem or a rough work in progress. Grab your controller, hit that like button, and let's get into it. Entering an early access title is always a bit of a gamble. It can range from a blatant cash grab to passion projects that still need time to cook. What I didn't expect from this early access experience, however, was to genuinely have fun. From the dopamine hits of those loot drops, to the thrills of exploration and progression, and the challenging yet rewarding boss fights, this game really hooked me. It's rare for a game to make the challenge itself the reward, rather than just handing out participation trophies for showing up or logging in. There's a ton of content here for theory crafting, boss farming, mapping, and in-game crafting. But of course, being in early access, it does come with its share of issues. We gave the graphics an 8 out of 10. Visually, the game looks great overall. While it's an upgrade from the predecessor Path of Exile, the visual improvements aren't exactly groundbreaking. That said, one thing Grinding Gear Games continues to do right is their animation graphics. They look phenomenal. We gave the sound an 8.5 out of 10. The sound design isn't a massive leap from Path of Exile, but it's still an improvement.
Your fate is sealed.
What stands out, however, is the music. Kamir Orman Janowski's compositions are absolutely fantastic, and they really elevate the experience. We gave the gameplay an 8 out of 10. In terms of the gameplay, it feels fantastic. There's a real sense of progression, and the animations are crisp and satisfying. Playing as a monk, I did encounter moments where I felt underpowered, but I attribute that more to user error. Nothing a little farming couldn't fix. We gave the design 5 out of 10. Now this is where things start to get a bit tricky. Now the map size and layouts are one of the most talked about aspects of this game, and for good reason. While the design and visual aesthetics are good, the maps are just too huge, and there aren't many ways to counter it. Not enough movement speed buffs. This makes exploring feel more like a walking simulator than engaging content. However, with the recent patch, this could change. They introduced checkpoint porting. As for character design, while it looks good, there's not much of a departure from Path of Exile. We gave technical 4.5 out of 10. As an early access game, bugs and glitches are to be expected, but surprisingly, I didn't encounter as many as I thought I would. The few I did were pretty significant, such as bypassing certain boss mechanics entirely. But they were rare compared to what you'd normally see at launch. The big issue here is the game's balance, specifically melee combat. It's in a really awkward spot, making it largely inaccessible to anyone other than Path of Exile pros. The majority of the critical feedback I've seen, aside from complaints about the map size, has been centered around the imbalance in melee combat. We gave quality of life and accessibility a 3 out of 10. Unfortunately, I didn't notice any accessibility options, which is pretty disappointing. As someone who's colorblind, I would have really appreciated some filters or settings to help with that. Because of this, I'm scoring this aspect pretty low. But hopefully, this will be addressed upon full release. Now the menus and interface also need some improvements. Things like missing stats on the character sheet are definitely early access issues, but they should be addressed before launch. And the map layout without any customization options, it feels cluttered and overwhelming, especially when in full screen. We gave Immersion a 6 out of 10. This game isn't heavily focused on its story, and that's totally fine. What really stands out here is the build diversity and skill customization. If you're a fan of theory crafting, this game is a dream come true, much like its predecessor. We gave the value a 9 out of 10. You know, even in early access, this game offers incredible value. Monetization is present, but it's not your typical pay-to-win style. The store mainly offers some cosmetics, some quality of life items, and they don't impact your gameplay too much. But there is one downside. You know, stash tabs feel almost essential, but they're not required to necessarily enjoy the game. That being said, the game is set to be free at launch, but even in the early access price of $30, it's a solid deal. Especially given that they give you that worth in in-game currency. You know, even in its early access state, this game is shaping up to be something special. You know, the foundation is solid, and it could very well become a standout in the ARPG genre. You know, it's simplified the complexity of Path of Exile, making it a lot more accessible to newcomers. You know, for this, I'm excited to see what the future holds for this title. And I'd highly recommend it to anyone that's willing to invest $30 in an early access. But just remember, everything is subject to change, so keep an open mind. And with the recent changes being so well received, it's definitely worth considering. And that's a wrap on today's Button Mash Breakdown. What do you guys think of this early access title? Is it a game that you're excited to dive into? Or is it rough around the edges? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed the review, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and smash that bell so you never miss a future breakdown. Until next time, keep mashing those buttons, and I'll see you in the next one.